Hello everyone and welcome back to Kim's Cozy Corner. I'm Kim and we are going to plant more potatoes in my indoor grow space. Now it is late November, the outdoor grow space is done and I'm ready to do some things indoors. I've already started 2 green stalks indoors in my indoor grow tent. I have seedlings going, I have transplants going, and now I want to add to it by adding some potatoes. Now, I did grow a year's supply of potatoes outdoors earlier this season in late spring, and I have tons of potatoes. I've canned potatoes. I have a ton of potatoes sitting in my storage area, but some of them are starting to come up. They're getting eyes on them, and to preserve them, then I'm going to need to put them in a different form, or since they want to reproduce so bad, I decided I'm going to just plant some more potatoes and put those in my indoor grow space for this winter. So let's just get to it. One of the first steps that I need to do is get some soil to put in these containers to get them started. So I started having a few audio issues, so I'm going to just overlay the audio here. So I'm in the process of filling the buckets up with a combination of compost as well as a potting mix, which happens to be Miracle Grow Moisture Control. That just happens to be the leftover mix that I have from the outdoor garden this year, and I just want to use it up. So I'm filling each of the containers to about 4 inches. The containers are about 18 inches tall, but I don't need 18 inches of soil in these containers. I found that the potatoes usually grow within the top 6 inches or so of each of these containers, so we're not going to fill them all the way up and we're not going to waste that soil. So we are going to fill both containers about 4 or 5 inches, and then we will move to the next step. The next step in this process is to add a little bit of fertilizer. Now, being the end of the season, I don't have a lot of granular fertilizer left, but I do have blood meal. We will be adding blood meal to each of these containers. If we were in our regular season, I would have also added some bone meal as well as a granular slow release fertilizer. But for now, blood meal is all we have, so that's what we'll be using. And I'm going to just take a really small handful and place that in each of these containers, and I will mix that in before I put the potatoes in next. When putting the potatoes in, you want to ensure that your eyes are facing up and you want to place those into your container. Now, I'm putting in potatoes that only have 1 or 2 eyes because I want to increase the size of the potatoes versus having a lot of small potatoes. And I'm going to put 4 potatoes in each of the pots. And you can see I have 3 in, and I'm going to put the 4th one in now. For the potatoes, I have white potatoes from the garden, as well as 1 red potato and 1 purple Viking potato. Now, I'm not sure which potatoes they were, considering they're all mixed up now on my shelf, but I'm believing the white potatoes are either Yukon Golds or either Leahy. The red potato, I think, is a Sharp O'Meara, but I'm not 100% sure. And the purple potato, I know for a fact, is a purple Viking. So I'm getting the 4 potatoes set up in each of the containers with the eyes facing up, and then we will move to the next step. Now that the potatoes in, I'm adding another 3 or 4 inches of soil on top of the potatoes. We will not be healing up these potatoes in these containers. That's not something you need to do when you're working in containers. Once you get that next 3 to 4 inches of soil in, we're going to add a little more blood meal right on top and mix that in, and these containers are ready to go. Now that we have the containers filled and I have about 4 inches of soil. I put 4 potatoes in, and then I added another, looks like about 4 inches of soil. And that's all we really need in these containers. And so let's move them over into the indoor grow space inside the tent, and let's get them watered in. Okay, so I'm in here. Let's get these pots sitting in some type of container so that the water doesn't flood the grow tent. And by putting them in some type of container like these here, it can suck some of that water back in if I overwater them. So I have the containers in. We're going to get them watered in next. I don't believe in wasting anything. So in my GreenStalk right here, when I water them in, that excess water comes out into a container. And I take that water and I put it back into some other container so I don't lose it. And so I have a container here of rich water with all kinds of goodies in it that we're going to use first in the potatoes. So we will get this watered in. And my soil is super dry, so hopefully it absorbs most of this. And let's get this next one watered in. Now, one of the things that I have to be very careful of when I'm watering indoors is to water in slowly so that I don't flood my indoor grow space. So I have to show a little extra care than I would if I was outdoors. I'll just flood them in, let the water run out the bottom, no big deal. But since I'm indoors, I do have to do this much slower so I can make sure that I don't get water on this indoor grow tent. Now, I have a waterproof floor, but we want to keep it as dry as possible. Now that we have the potatoes watered in, let me show you an update on how the towers are doing as well. We started this tower a little over a week ago. I don't think that's right. I'll put the date here when we started it so you know how many days that it's been going. But the lettuce in the top was on its last leg. Look at it, it's flourishing. All of that lettuce is looking so delicious in the top there. I have radishes in these pockets here, and then tomatoes are in the bottom. But look at that lettuce, y'all. That lettuce is delicious. I'm moving over to the other door of the grow space here, and my peppers that I am trying to overwinter, look at that, y'all. They are coming back. They are alive. They are alive. Look at the little sprouts. They are going to make it, I believe anyway, through the winter here. Now, some of them are not looking so great, but we will use that pocket for something else. But the rest of these, I believe, look at this one. Look at that. They are going to survive the winter. And this will be the first year that I'm overwintering peppers. And now I'm over into where I transplanted. And I had some sorry plants too. Boy, I tell you, here's a picture of just how bad they looked. And now look at them as I've up-potted them. I gave them more room to grow. And this lettuce looks amazing. It's just waiting for a pocket for us to put it in. And then I started some from seeds, and the pak choi has come up. The cucumbers have all come up. Even that pickle bush, which didn't do so well last year, that's come up as well. And then I planted some additional lettuce, and it's all coming up with the exception of dark rhodon and my dynamite and cimarron. So hopefully they'll eventually break ground. If not, who cares? Look at all that lettuce right there. Boy, I am ready to get this winter season started. There's a lot going on in my small little grow space. Thank you for hanging out with me. And if you want to follow me all winter long to see how things are doing in my winter grow space, please turn on those notifications, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you'll come back and visit me very soon. Until next time, and I hope there will be a next time. Bye.